Hey guys, hey, so Ronnie,
Yeah.
as you know, there's so many real estate agents who's debating, or not debating, I guess they're looking at our team and they're wondering, is it real? The most common question I get is, how does it work within Team nuvision? So this is your first year, today is August 2017, your first full year with the team. How's your experience with the team? I guess, who are you, like what were you doing before you joined the team and after?
Okay, I was doing that I was doing real estate independently. I have a broker license, so I was doing that independently for 3 years or so before I joined the team. And then after I joined the team, the experience, right? The thing that I guess most agents, they skeptical, curious, or they want to know about is what you were telling us. There's no cold calling, no door knocking, and no prospect.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Right.
In the last 12 months, you do any of those?
Nothing. No.
And how many, just for the reference, for the records, in the last 12 months, how many transactions did you close? And in
I think
escrow?
20. In escrow altogether, maybe around 30.
Okay, and this, okay, so then what happened if you
12
don't do any?
12 months, maybe 35. I don't know.
35 in the last
33, something like
12
that.
months. Okay.
Yes.
So if you don't do any cold calling, prospecting, door knocking, then how the heck you gonna? How, like, what happened? Like, how did you close 35 transactions? That doesn't make sense.
That's really one of the reasons why I joined your team, is because I basically exhaust all my leads in my sphere of influence, right? Because I was just having too much time. Not enough clients to service. That's when I really the decision at that time was, should I start spending some money on marketing and advertising and do some lead generation, or should I be joining a team like your team, right?
But how? So let's talk about a little bit more details. So, like, without cold calling, prospecting, door knocking, how does this team system work? How can you close 35 transactions without doing the prospecting? That most people who's watching this, they're thinking like that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Because that's the most common question I get.
Okay. Because the team is systemized in the sense that the roles are divided into different parts, departments of focusing on different parts of the job, right? We have this we have different leads coming in, and we have an inside sales team who focus on basically just converting those booking appointments. So all you got to do is really free up your calendar, and the appointments will actually be booked for you. So all you really have to focus on two things: make sure that you have the skill to convert those appointments being booked to you, and have the skill and actually do it, right? And show up and do it.
And Ronnie, another misconception, right, that people talk about is, hey, when you are part of a team, your split, because any team is the same, KW and stuff, usually the split is always 50-50. Right? So the misconception is, hey, if you are part of a team, then you actually have to work twice as hard, you have to close twice as many transactions to net the same amount of money, right? And how's your experience within the first 12 months?
I was one of those, right? I can't lie that when I first heard 50% split, and it seems like a big amount, right? Because especially when I was doing this independently, the split was
100,
right? So but at the end of the day, I look at this as an opportunity, really, because the volume is there. The volume of the clients that we're able to service is really it's tremendous. So it's a numbers game. Any sales job, we're talking about numbers. It's a numbers game. So,
but let's go back to, is it true? Okay, so for example, right now when you go on a listing, how many listings you're working on right now this month, August 2017?
Right now, currently,
right now,
20 plus.
So you have 20 plus listings. Is it fair? Okay, so what's the average? What's the highest on the listing commission? What's the owner of the house pays you?
10%.
10%.
But that's not the average. But
that's not the average.
Usually, like at the highest, like I got a couple. A few 7 and a couple 8%. I got one highest is 10%.
All right. Yeah. So is it fair to say that even after the 50% on each individual transaction,
Yes.
you are actually netting
Yes.
more than the,
Yes.
because you know what the average agent do here in San Gabriel,
Yes.
right? They take a listing. The other day we saw another agent, IRN, take a listing, close escrow at 1%.
Right.
Even if they're at 90% split with their broker, it's 90% of one. It's like, so they're net.
Correct.
But that's not a fair comparison too, because now you are not taking into consideration what about all the expenses that solo agent to generate that business to begin with. If they have to give kickbacks, then that's another 50% of kickbacks.
No, that's absolutely true. So at the end of the day, the system really show you how to maximize how much you can earn, right? So even with seems like a bigger split, but at the end of the day, what
about
matters when we net?
The net, like how much are you gonna netting?
If it's not more, I mean, it's not going to be less than you being solo.
Right. And the last one here is that time, right? How's your so you closed 35 deals in the first year. You are working on 20 plus listings this month, August 2017. How do you manage your time? Because some people think, oh, then you have to work like basically you have no personal life and stuff like that. Like so.
Well, I have a family.
I see your Facebook post, like you are going on vacation all the time.
Not as much as I would
Add him on Facebook. He only add like personal friend. Look it up. Look it up. Ronnie Chan.
Yeah.
Right? Add him on Facebook. See if he add. So I see you have. I see. I see on your Facebook thing. You just came back was it last week or a couple of weeks ago? You went to Orange County somewhere and stuff. Like you have how many kids? Yeah.
I have two younger daughters right now.
Yeah. So how do you manage? Because I noticed that you spend time with your family and at the same time you are doing massive production. So how do you do it?
It's just a matter of balancing. I think managing your time and your calendar is very important. At the end of the day, I actually struggle a little bit at the beginning, making sure that my wife is supportive, because dedication got to be there, especially when you first join the team. You really need to learn the system, the paradigm shift, and so the time need to be there. I'm not gonna lie, I work a lot more when compared to when I was independent, right? That's the truth, that's the fact. But at the end of the day, I don't feel that I'm overwhelmed, as in even with all these transactions going on. As long as you have a good balance on what you do, and you gotta like what you do, and by the end of the day, there's only 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You just have to kind of plan ahead. So what I do, I just block off the time. If I need to spend some time with my family, I just block it off, and the ISA won't book me an appointment at that time. Then I can spend quality time with my family, trying to answer the phone calls during those time though, but it's a challenge. But at the end of the day, I think it's a balance. And I'm pretty optimistic guy, so I don't worry too much about too many things, even though things might not go as smooth as you wish, when you're dealing with so many transactions, right? But that's kind of how I handle it.
So this is your first year. You are on the way. Are you on track? I think you are on track on netting to 250,000. But
200 to 250, hopefully, yeah.
Yeah, but let's talk about what's the difference between what do we mean when we say net versus the traditional. The real estate agents who's watching this, usually they talk about GCI, right? Gross commission income.
Right.
Like, what's your understanding on that?
Well, because at the end of the day, we don't spend any marketing dollars on, no expense on advertising, doing marketing, and there's no overhead on anything, right? Because we are in a team. So with that said, then when we are talking about how much you're netting, you're really netting the amount, right? Aside from deducting expenses on driving, cell phone, things like that, that's not much deduction at that
yeah. So I'm gonna we just get here in the office, so I'm gonna flip this phone a little bit. Oh, we cannot flip it, so I guess we just have to talk like this.
Yeah.
So what else, Ronnie, if you were to share for there's many people who's watching this who are just like you a year ago, right? I don't know, whatever question, whatever doubts, or I don't know, whatever. Like, what were you thinking before? Anyway,
this is what I have to say, right?
Yeah.
So it's a big decision to join a team, especially when you are doing on your own before you're comfortable doing how you would pay and the system how it was set up. Because no one likes changes. No one does, right? So, but it's one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life, in really joining Rudy's team and having this opportunity. and it is not an easy transition at the beginning, but you just have to have the faith and stick to it, and it will happen for you.
Yeah, you're doing well. Michael here is driving the car, but look at how he parked the car. He's squeezing this. Michael, can you make it a little bit more tighter than all right, man. So we just came back from lunch. So so to discuss, to schedule a private tour of our backstage private tour of our team, call 626-789-0159. Again, 626-789-0159. Then either me or Ronnie or anybody in the team will give you a private tour of our team, so that way you can see what it means to be part of a team. All right, see you then.